What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz. Look, as always, we dive deep and keep it real, so do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, as always, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. I know you could be doing so many other things with your precious time, like binge watching. I don't know. I heard there's a new show. I'm forgetting the name, but it has Billy Bob Thornton. Because I just finished watching Yellowstone, which is my favorite show. So look, you guys can be binge watching your favorite TV show. You could be chopping up with your friends. You could be doing so many other things with your precious time. But I truly appreciate that you take 1 hour of your time, 1 hour of your day to tune in and join the conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We are growing each and every moment, y'all. I told you subscribers are growing, our listenerships are growing, and I could not do it without you guys. And for today's show, let me tell you something. I'm going to bring you a great treat, as I always do. Like I try to deliver each and every time. I'm honored to have my good friend, Cash Calvern. Excuse me, Councilman. You caught that, right? You caught that, Councilman Calvern Cash Jackson Green, Virginia Beach City Councilman representing the 7th District. As before, he's no stranger to this program. He was on a few times, and at that time, he was a candidate for Virginia Beach City Council. But that's right, my friends, he won, and I was honored to be at his sworn-in ceremony, hearing his speech and his thank you. He had a huge support system. His family, his wonderful family, was there, and let me tell you something. District 7 is in for a treat, and they should be very excited to have a great representation for their district. So I'm excited to have him back on, this time post victory, right? So I get to discuss, the experience that he had with that whole election process, the goals for District 7, and as well, I want to get his take on, a story happening in the city of Virginia Beach. I'm talking about Something in the Water, right? The popular music festival founded by Pharrell Williams, who's also a Virginia Beach native. I myself had been in attendance. I attended 2 of the festivals, and it's a very popular festival, but the festival organizers as well as the city have yet to kind of come to an agreement on, okay, when is it going to happen? When's it going to start? When is this? When is that? So I've shared my thoughts on it, and I'll share it with with the councilman, as far as with the festival, and just as far as a person from the public, from the residents' perspective. So I'm excited to have him on, and just like to discuss his goals and the great stuff that he wants to see going forth with District 7, and especially the life as a councilman, right? This is for this is his first time. This is awesome. I'm very excited. Before I move forward, my friends, I always have to shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Hybrid Productions. All right, looking to bring your story to life. Hybrid Productions, they don't just create videos, they craft experiences. Whether it's commercials, music videos, documentaries, or corporate content, your vision is their masterpiece. With cutting-edge technology and creative team that pushes boundaries, they and a passion for storytelling, they take your ideas to the next level. From concept to final cut, they deliver results that captivate and inspire. So ready to make an impact? Go ahead. Let's collaborate. Visit hybridproductions.com, or you can check them out on social media at Hybrid Productions, productions with a Z at the end. That's right. And I tell you, where creative meets innovations, I myself am a client. I've been satisfied with them for quite some years, and I highly recommend, my friends, if you are business owners or hoping to build and create your own content, Hybrid Productions has it for you. All right. They have it for you. Before I move to a quick commercial, I do have to start our tradition, as we always do every show, with a quick fun fact. Why? Because I just believe that, hey, it's always good to have a fun fact that not everyone is familiar with, just in your hip pocket. It's a great conversation starter. It's good. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? It's good brain food, because it's good to have some knowledge and facts here and there. Guys, did you know that the world oldest known living tree is over 5,000 years old? That's right, over 5,000 years old. That tree is the I'm gonna try and pronounce this. Bear with me. The meth, the meth lusla, the meth lusla. Yeah, I totally screwed that one up, but hey, whatever. It's a Great Basin Bristol cone pine. All right, it's considered the world's oldest living tree. Estimated, as I mentioned, over 5,000 years old. It's located in the Inyo National Forest in the White Mountains of Eastern California. The exact location is kept a secret for its safety. So, hey, there's a quick fun fact for you, it just in case you were curious. I know we have a lot of listeners out there that are big on nature. I'll be honest, I have friends and family that are big with plants and trees, and you know me, I am an artificial guy. When it comes to plants, I'm like, give me an artificial one. That's my knowledge when it comes to trees and in the greenery. But my friends, look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. When we come back, I'll be honored to be joining with my good friend Councilman Calvern Cash Jackson Green, representative of District 7 in Virginia Beach. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more after this. All right, shout out to the Dapper Luke collection. That's right. If you want some good threads, whether it's casual, business casual, or custom, I'm telling you, Dapper Luke, my good friend Dapper Luke, founder of the Dapper Luke collection, has all the great stuff for you. So for more information about that, go to dapperlukecollection.com, or you can visit him on social media at the Dapper Luke Collection. I highly recommend. He designed my suit for my wedding, as well as plenty of other suits and pieces in the past. And so again, we support veteran owned and minority owned business. So shout out, shout out. As I mentioned before, guys, I'm so thrilled to have on Councilman Jackson Green. He's no stranger to the show. He has his lovely wife with him as well, who's no stranger to the program. It's great to see her again. And I'm just excited to have him on because look, he's coming back with a different title now, as I mentioned earlier. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on my good friend, Councilman, Virginia Beach City Councilman, representing the 7th District, Mr. Cash Jackson Green. My friend, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well. Hello to your subscribers, and this is a great show. So we are proud to be on your show. You're doing great.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. That's it. That's it. All right. All right. Don't worry.
You're
It's all good.
amazing. You're great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And how are you doing?
Well, we are excited. We are on this wonderful journey of learning our residents and our district even in a more in-depth level.
Mm,
When you're running for office and you're campaigning, it's it's more surface because it's introductions, meet and greet.
mm-hmm,
Now I have an opportunity to get involved in the nuts and bolts of what makes their lives better. And that's what my wife and my family, that's what we represent,
mm,
is to improve the quality of our residents' life in Virginia Beach and as well as Hampton Roads, because as you know, Virginia Beach does a lot of business with the surrounding cities. So
mm-hmm.
we're not just making an impact on the residents in District 7, but on Hampton Roads altogether. And we're excited about that.
That is awesome. Well, I have to ask Councilman and Mrs. Jackson Green as well. Uh, how was the atmosphere on election night? I always love to ask, especially after a victory, like how was the reaction? How was the response when you saw those numbers? Well, first, did you guys get any sleep on that day? That's the first question I want to ask. Was there any rest on that day?
Well, I can tell you I was overwhelmed with joy and
Mm,
excitement. Joy because I said, me? When they said, hey, you've won this precinct, that precinct, and I'm getting calls left and right.
Mm,
And I was just amazed. And so there's a part of you that didn't expect it, but expected it.
mm-hmm.
So when I received the calls from, I had precinct captains who worked at each precinct, and that's what set us apart. There is nothing about this campaign that was traditional. um, we pulled together people from the community, and it wasn't politics and it wasn't politically
Mm-hmm.
driven. It was people driven, and so 5:45 a.m. in the morning till the polls closed, I had dedicated precinct workers,
Wow.
and so when I received the phone calls that you had won, I won out of the precincts that I had, I think I only lost one. And so out of the 10 precincts, only
Wow.
one. And for me, I fell to my knees, and I was thankful.
Mm, mm. And look, I myself, I can, I can speak as far as when you mentioned grassroots. I mean,
Yeah.
it was during the, it was some of the warmest climates during the during the election season,
Yeah.
and you were out there in look, suited and booted, right? You had multiple pieces on in, in your shoes, and you were showing, and you kept the, you kept the folks up to speed on, like, on your progression as far as what you were doing during your campaign, walking from door to door in different
Yes.
neighborhoods in the heat. Like I
Yes.
said, regardless of the attire, regardless of the weather, you made sure you were professional. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's dedication right there. That is dedication. I was out here like, whoo, it is. I was getting warm just looking at it. I'm like, wow.
Well, the suit was actually a form of protection, because here you have a complete stranger knocking on your door or the Ring camera. And I just wanted them to know I had a big button that says, my campaign slogan. And I wanted them to know I wasn't just some stranger, but I hope I looked the part of a campaigner.
There you go.
So it protected me on many fronts. But then I had one occasion where I was chased by a dog. So it didn't protect me on that.
Well, at least it
Unfortunately,
was worth it. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
unfortunately, we don't have that on camera, so I wish we had gotten that one on camera to share with the people.
It's fun. It's funny that you brought that up because I'm a Chesapeake resident, but I try to stay involved with a lot of the local cities officials and just staying up to speed. And I got to experience for the first time door knocking because I was helping out a friend who was running for office in Chesapeake, and it was my very first time. And like you said, my first experience, we hit 100 homes in total. It was something I could not imagine somebody who is running like yourself to do that on a regular basis, because it was a combination of, I love people, but I was still nervous at the same time because I'm coming up to strangers. There's, I saw a lot of dogs that looked pretty mean at the door, and I'm just like,
Right? Right.
okay, I don't know if this is gonna be the last time. Let me call my family to say I love them. I don't know how the experience was gonna respond. So, it was definitely a learning experience. It was probably a one and done for me, but I said, all right, that not door knocking. Is there anything else I can do from virtual, from afar? But that is funny. I'm glad that no one was hurt, but obviously that the dog chasing you was worth it, because hey, it ran you right into office, right into city hall.
That's right. Well, it was in that moment that I had a deciding factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether what I was doing was authentic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to get back to my car and just go back to my regular job.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? No, the people need representation. And it was in that moment that I had this clarity of thought
Mm-hmm.
about my purpose for representing them, that against dangers and facing dangers, that I would not stop representing the people. So that actually gave me a resolve. And I was committed from that point on. There was no turning back. Nothing could stop me.
And
Uh,
and oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
Councilman.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
just going to say nothing could stop me from that point on. And I had that moment of, should I just get my car and go or continue?
And you kind of answered a little bit of the question I wanted to ask, because I've asked this previously when I first had you on the program. But what inspired you? You mentioned you had you still have a great job that you currently do, and what inspired you to say, okay, look, I'm gonna commit myself, and this is gonna be a huge commitment. This is going to be a huge commitment where I have to take time away from my job, my family. I want to run for local office because hey, I see an issue that is going on in my district. So let me go ahead and take that leap of faith. What and for those who are who are new to you, councilman, here on the program, what drove you to make that decision?
So I work in the auto industry,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a sales consultant, and I love what I do. And I meet about 100 people in a month, and they sit before me, and I get to know their families, their jobs, and their kids, their, you know, what they drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I begin to say, I'm really good at negotiating on their behalf,
Mm-hmm.
listening and taking that information back to where I can make some money for the dealership. Obviously, we're there to make money for our families, but also where I provide a extraordinary experience for my customers,
Mm-hmm.
where I begin to have repeat business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I noticed this trend where I was seeing repeat customers every 2 years. And so I felt like I could truly represent their interests, their values. And then I began to ask them questions about their taxes and politics. And then I said, well, who's your representative? And they couldn't answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I'm representing them when I go before the manager, negotiating on their behalf already. So it would make perfect sense for me to represent them in local government since I'm doing it already.
Mm-hmm.
Comes to the car sales.
Now, Mrs. Jackson Green, I want to ask, when he came with you with, hey, this choice on running, was this to you, was this like, well, it's about time, of course you should, or was this like, excuse me, what? What'd you just say? Like, what was your mindset through when he came up to you with that decision?
Well, honestly, it was a combination of both of those reactions,
Mm-hmm.
because from the moment that I've met him, one of the biggest elements to him has always been public service in some
Mm-hmm.
way, some form or another. No matter what was going on in his life, he always made time to give back in some form. And it also became a part of our family. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that, we've always done together. And, our kids have gone on and lived their separate lives, and they've allowed make community service a part of their lives wherever they are also. Um, well, of course, me being a wife and knowing that he was already a hard worker, I was like, okay, so now you're going to add even more work on top of what you already do. So I will never see you. But it was one of those things where, yes, we talked about it, but it was just automatic. There was no, you know, no arguments or anything about it, that because it's kind of like it was something that he had to do. So it's something that I think that since we've been together, we've kind of been preparing for this and beyond.
Mm.
Making sure that we represent helping people in any form of capacity.
Yeah.
I love that. Love that. Two-part question, and then
Yes.
I'll get it in the nuts and bolts as far as uh more into the conversation. The experience during the campaign and the
Oh yeah.
takeaways. This is for you both. So whoever would like to
Yes.
go first, what was the experience like that you've learned, and then what are the takeaways from
So
just the campaign process?
yeah, I would say the experience, when you are announcing to the world or to your people that you're going to run for office,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to try to match you up with campaign managers.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell first time candidates who are thinking about running for office that give that a lot of consideration
Mm-hmm.
before you decide on choosing someone as a campaign manager. we chose several at the beginning because we thought that that's what you had to do.
Mm,
They had the connections, they knew the people, they knew the locations. But I would tell you that um, everyone is trying to make a living, and I get that,
mm-hmm,
but it has to complement your passion to represent the people.
mm,
And so, even if they are campaign managers and they are tenure, they have experience, I would say if it doesn't align with your passion and
mm-hmm,
your goals of helping the residents, then do not go down that pathway.
mm-hmm,
So that was lesson number one that we learned, um, is choosing a campaign manager because they will represent you. And we came from a total different perspective. My theme is people over politics, and I
mm-hmm,
mean that. And often, and I'll say this, local government should not be partisan.
mm-hmm. Totally
That's a
agree.
problem. Well, you've got two systems at work. And if you are going to make it or to have the numbers you need, ultimately you have to choose a side.
Mm-hmm,
That is problematic because when you choose a campaign manager, they're going to be on one of those two party lines,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which I felt at the beginning stopped me from having conversations with everyone. And that went against my beliefs and that
Mm-hmm.
went against my goals and my passions to represent all. And when I tell people it's people over politics, I mean that. And so ultimately, we had to let go of all of our campaign managers and all of them. And I looked at my wife and I said, "So what do we do now?" and uh, and and so we were wise about it, and we felt like we had the tools necessary to be our own campaign managers, or for me to be my own campaign manager, seeking wisdom from those who are in the world of politics,
Mm-hmm.
but they would do it pro bono. And I think that's what the message I'm going to send to candidates who are looking to run for office. We need to change the game.
Yeah.
And in order for you to change the game, you have to change the players.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Put that on a t-shirt. If you guys are watching, anybody out there that are graphic t-shirt design, please put that on a shirt. Send it to the show. What about you, Miss Jackson Green? Any experiences or takeaways from from the campaign process?
Yes, that first of all, campaigning is definitely a unique process.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And we were pretty much brand new to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even him less than me, he knew a little bit more. But yes, we had some bumps and bruises. We had some good times, some laughs, and we had moments where we just felt like people weren't aligning with what we were trying to do or what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it all, though, we had community members that stepped up and jumped in, and that was the part that really just took my breath away,
Mm-hmm.
because it was amazing that people were willing to sacrifice their time and energy. And it wasn't about money, it wasn't about payment, it was about their belief in Cash. They believed, they met him, they talked to him, they believed in him, and that's the reason why he won. And also, there were times, it was just me and him, and we had some really deep conversations, and we came up with strategies together. And I would like to let everybody know that he is a husband that listens to his wife most of the time.
He said most of the
Huh?
time.
Most of the time. But that's the reason why we were able to work so well together. And we never ever thought of, we never talked about and never thought about what happens if we don't win. That wasn't even a
Mm,
question. It was never on the table.
That's true.
Our thought process was, okay, after election day, where do we start? Where do we go? That's how we, pretty much put our focus on what's next. It was never, okay, what happens if we don't win? We didn't allow that
No,
to
we did
even
not.
enter our conversation. So it was, what can we do?
And I will tell you that on this level,
mm-hmm,
you're meeting people who are Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians,
mm-hmm,
and we knew that our formula could not be anyone else's formula. Because when we say that we care about all, we do. And so we are trying to figure out, how do we put our formula into an old system where you only have to speak to Republicans or you only have to speak to Democrats.
mm-hmm.
It didn't fit our,
Yeah, that didn't work for us.
it didn't work for us. And we had people that were on our streets who were Democrat, Democrat, Republican, Republican, who all said, "You're our guy."
Mm, mm.
And so we knew we had a mission that was going to be different.
Mhm.
And it would cause some headache. As you know, the papers kind of reported on that.
I'm waking up in the morning, having my coffee. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we
This
did
is not true.
reaction. We had the same reaction, but it was a testament to how hard he worked and that
Mm,
he was effective in some way, in some form or another.
When I knocked on the doors, it was very few people asking me, "Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat?" They were talking to me about things that they were talking about their kids going off to college.
mm-hmm,
They were talking to me about a car. They were talking to me about their grass, and they were talking to me about their house.
mm-hmm,
Things that were common conversations, just
mm-hmm,
normal conversations. That's it. We were just having normal conversations. And I love the fact that I could break the ice. The icebreaker was, "Hi, my name is Cash Green. I'm running for city council, and I'm running to put more green cash in your pockets." And that was the icebreaker that made people laugh and smile. And from there, we had normal conversations.
mm-hmm,
I had very few political conversations. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? I had
mm-hmm.
very few of those. So I knew that our defining moment would be just to have normal conversations and to really listen. I didn't come with an axe to grind. I didn't come with an agenda that was told to me by someone to do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a lesson for those who are looking to run for office for the first time. You can't come with someone else's agenda.
Yeah.
It's got to be birthed within you. And so that's what separated me from everyone else. There was not an opportunity for me to think I wasn't going to lose or
Mm-hmm.
win. There was not an opportunity for that. It was only the opportunity that I was going to succeed in representing the values and the beliefs of the people of District 7.
And that's so important, what you both have spoken about, because I myself am a part of the movement of, okay, like your slogan, people over politics. It is disheartening. It's a disservice for the public that we live in a society where it is the big question is, are you red or are you blue, or are you this or are you that? And if you don't answer those the way that they want to hear, they're like, oh, nope, nope, nope. And
Yeah.
they're not properly informed with the knowledge, because a lot of them, their knowledge is very biased. They're gonna only listen to one side, this side, and the other. So I think it was extremely important, the fact that you are pushing that narrative, Councilman, and I think it's a great thing, because that's how the future should be. And majority of folks, like you mentioned, in conversation, we agree on 99% of the stuff. That 1%, you let the 1% overtake the 99%, and
That's right.
then all hell breaks loose. So
Right.
I think it's very important that that you continue that narrative, especially for your district, to
Right.
help bring the community together. And I think that's a wonderful thing that you had mentioned. Look, we're gonna moving on. to another conversation. But if you don't mind, we're going to take another commercial break, take a quick breather. If you, I hope I'm not taking too much of your guys' time. Do you still have some
No,
time
you're
for
doing
some more?
fine.
Awesome. So look, my friends, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to head right back. I am your host, Arrington Gavin. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, and all social media platforms, X, Substack. Check out my Substack. I call it my public diary, where whatever's on the mind, I just go ahead and start writing and typing away. Also, you can follow us on Blue Sky. That's right, on Blue Sky. So multiple ways you can tune into us. I am joining with Virginia Beach City Councilman representing the 7th District, Councilman Cash Jackson Green. Let me tell you something. The Lord blessed it with a great name, Cash Green. Come on now, Cash Jackson Green. That's all I'm saying. More cash in your pocket. Oh my gosh, that is
Right.
look. If this doesn't work out, Councilman, I believe hip hop is the rap community might could use you. No. Okay,
I got
do I say? No, see, he's Bob. No,
Absolutely not.
that's one thing she said. Absolutely not. She wow, that was. I'm sorry, Councilman. I tried.
Okay.
I'm here for it. But don't go anywhere, my friends. We'll be back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned before, I'm your host, your friend, your homie, whatever you want to call me. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin, joining with Virginia Beach City Councilman Jackson Green and his lovely wife, the Mrs. Jackson Green. Thank you so much, you both, for taking the time out your busy schedule for a great conversation. We just finished having on the first half of the program, just your experiences and takeaways from the campaign season. Now you're in the driver's seat. You are representing District 7 in Virginia Beach. Councilman, I would love to ask, what are some of your top priorities, goals for District 7? What is what's on the chopping, what's on not the chopping block, what's on the board right now for you?
So I campaigned on a rec center for District 7.
Okay.
We've got 46,000 people, over 46,000 people that live in District 7, and we don't have a dedicated rec center that's within our district, especially for those families that only have one car, one mode of transportation, and they've got young kids at home. That's a problem. And they want us to use Kempsville Recreation Center, which is a great facility, but it's already maxed, and it has the residents from that district that's utilizing that facility, which is a great facility. So we need to begin to think futuristically about improving the quality of people's lives in District 7, and that needs to be by a rec center. We can offer services for seniors and for kids, as well as for middle age. I mean, something for everyone. Number two is I'm a big fan of libraries. You know, what I learned about city government and what really said that I can do this is I was on the library board. I'm passionate about libraries because there you can go in and you can read above your level. you can experience all the things that libraries offer: job training, job coaching, resume building. Libraries are not extinct,
Mm-hmm.
they are the cutting edge. And so I'm going to always campaign for a library to be there. So a rec center, a library. And then number three, I would like to have a substation, a police substation in District 7. Now, to clarify, substation, I would like police officers that are more CIT trained,
Mm-hmm.
crisis intervention team. And so we're dealing with mental health more than it is a call for arrest this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think we've had in District 7, we've had some bumps when it comes to crime ticking up
Mm-hmm.
more by our youth. Um, and more calls have been mental health calls than they have been violent crimes. And so I think we've got to begin to think proactive
Mm-hmm.
than reactive. And so I'm gonna champion the cause of us having more CIT trained police officers. And if we can have a substation in District 7
Mm-hmm.
that is geared towards handling more mental health issues, because police officers are being many things. They're wearing many hats.
That's right.
And a lot of hats that they're wearing are counselors. So to me, that says a need is there. So let District 7 be the beacon. Let us be the forefront in showing how this can be done successfully. And we have a very thriving District 7. We are a working class District 7. We are certification. We have some higher education here in District 7, but that seat that I'm in, that's a certification seat,
Mm-hmm.
right? We need more welders. We need more plumbers. We need people that are certified in certain areas where we can have the job economy outfitted with District 7 residents who are ready. So I'm really coming with a passion to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my top three. But since I've been in city council, I will tell you this: it's different. It's different because you look at the budget and you don't see the funds of how I can have a rec center, a library, and a substation. It's just not there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've got to go out and create opportunities where we can improve Virginia Beach as a whole, our revenue, our different sources of revenue coming in. That needs to be on the agenda because whenever you look at budgets, budgets are tight.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always talking about reducing or shortening. So I've got some work ahead, and but I'm going to do that with some trusted friends. So those are my top three, and I have some smaller ones. I'm going to be working with Generation Alpha, and the reason I say that is because that just formed. That formed. We went to MLK last night,
Mm-hmm.
which was a wonderful event
For the Urban League.
by the Urban League.
Was that
And
now? I didn't mean to cut you off, Councilman. Was Tim Reed in attendance? What he was? I know exactly what event you're talking about. Yep. Yep.
he was there.
He was.
I know him
Uh,
as Ray because see, I was a sister fan, so I knew
Yeah.
him as Ray. But they said that's Tim Reed. I'm like, okay, ma, all right, chill, chill.
but but I invited several high school students to attend
Mhm.
because I wanted them to catch the vision too.
Absolutely.
So we've got to begin to pour into our generation alpha, Gen Z,
Oh,
generation alpha. These are kids that are just starting high school. Well, I mean, it came to me last night and I stayed awake And I realized that that's the next generation that while I'm on council, I'm going to begin to pour into as much as I can.
That is awesome, and I have to say, District 7 is, personal in my family as far as the so my grandmother and aunt and cousin, they lived for years in the Level Green area, like Clear Springs, I
Right.
believe. So I know that's a part of your district. So beautiful community, but like you had mentioned before, libraries definitely needed, rec centers absolutely needed, and you have so many kids in that area too.
Yes.
And everything you're saying is spot on. So you, as I mentioned before, folks, for those that live in the District 7 area community, you are really, is an exciting time for you to have Councilman Jackson Green in the driver's seat to help guide you guys and start this path for you all. I want to talk to you because I know I'm looking at my time. We have about like a little less than 20 minutes. I want to mention, or to bring up, Councilman, the Something in the Water Music Festival. So that's kind of been a big thing in the news as far as, and I, however you want, much you want to mention, but I wanted to bring it up because you guys had a recent voting as far as an extension for the organizers to make a decision, and you were one of the ones that voted no, along with Councilwoman Henley, which for I'm in agreement with you, and I'm a fan of the festival. I will say this: I was a fan. It brought a lot of revenue to the area, Hampton Roads and Virginia Beach. But at this time, I'm like, okay, what's up? Like, this back and forth thing. Let's let what is going on. What's your take, Councilman, on the Something in the Water Festival? I mean, is it, what is the hold up, or anything that if you feel free to mention, or just your take on it? You voted no on the extension. Why so?
So more context needs to be around that no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want everyone to understand that we have to plan accordingly. So we have to have some dates
Mm-hmm.
because people are taking vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to plan for safety and security of the event, and so we have to have dates
Mm-hmm.
so that we can effectively make sure it's going to be a safe event.
Yeah,
And
better pre-planning.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we want it to be well attended. So my vote for no was a two-part thing.
Mm-hmm.
More, uh, I would love to give Pharrell the time that he needs. I think that that's important
Mm-hmm.
because he's dealing with um, artists who are on different schedules
Absolutely.
and time frames, and so there is understanding when it comes to what Pharrell is thinking and doing. I
Mm-hmm.
understand we like Pharrell, and so
Same here. Same here.
right, and so we would rather have that event here in Virginia Beach. We believe it's going to be a great venue for the oceanfront as well
Mm-hmm.
as the economic boom
Mm-hmm.
for Virginia Beach. So the vote no wasn't on no, we don't want that. No, we want that. It's more we need to plan accordingly. Um, and so I want people to know that there needs to be always context whenever I'm doing something. And
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely. Yeah, and just to catch up the listeners and viewers, the Something in Music Festival is a popular music fest that was founded by Pharrell Williams, as I mentioned earlier in the show, a native born and raised from Virginia Beach. It started off in 2019. It was a 2 day. I'm sorry, it was a 3 day event that ended up going on, I believe, to like a 2 day, because the first day it got rained on, and they eventually had just 2 days, but it was very successful. I believe I have the stat sheet right here. Sold around 35,000 tickets, approximately 24 million in revenue just to Hampton Roads alone. Complications happened, obviously the pandemics. Fast forward, they had it in Washington D.C. with some issues that had occurred, and then boom, came back to Virginia Beach. And in 2023, which was also a big deal, we end up going from one sound stage to two sound stages, and that brought in around between 26 to 29 million just for the city alone. So again, very lucrative, like Councilman was sharing, very lucrative for the city, for the area of Hampton Roads, as well as the city of Virginia Beach. But again, I'm speaking on behalf of just say the people who I know, many of folks who was waiting in line when they got tickets, and then the same day when he got tickets, they postponed, and a lot of folks were frustrated for one. And I'll share this, and I was very honest on my program. I think it would have been a better choice to hold those tickets for those folks that did buy it, and then save it for when you do have it. But again, they're having complications with okay, we're gonna have it on this date, or let's move it to this date. And not Pharrell specifically, y'all. I don't want to make you think I'm bashing Pharrell. He has a team behind him that is in charge for this. Pharrell Williams is a extremely busy man. He is working countlessly in the music industry, entertainment industry, and he has a lot of titles. So I'm not saying this specifically on him, just as far as the position and the organizers and all that stuff. There's been, I believe, more than 2 deadlines that wasn't met, and that's why when they had their most recent one, I mentioned that I was in agreements with the councilman as far as what that decision, because a lot of folks are, you don't really hear the community saying, well, we need to have it, what's going on. No, they're actually on the side of people in council, like, what is something in the water doing, what are we doing this, what's going on. And I hope it does work out, because out of all the festivals in Hampton Roads, at least that I have attended, this was it's an historic one. You bring in so many A-list performers, and I mean, for crying out loud, in 2019 he brought out Jay-Z. I mean, who would have thought Jay-Z would be at the ocean front? You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a big thing for the community. But at the end of the day, if you are, for the business owners out there, for the business mindset folks, you have to understand as far as how this protocol and this process goes.
What I will tell you about council is that all of them are very business minded.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are looking at the bigger picture, how it can help jobs,
Mm-hmm.
can help our economy. And so we are very interested in having that economic boom here in Virginia Beach. So I want everyone to know that we have a good council, and we all communicate. And so that's what I like about being on council, is I get to share my ideals, I get to listen to them, and I can tell you they're very proactive when it comes to making sure that we have the quality of life, and we have the economic boom that we need here in Virginia Beach. So something in the water, I can tell people we are very relationship oriented, like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to have a conversation. I'm willing to get the ball rolling. And if there are blockades in the way, then let's have a conversation. And I think that's what you're going to start to see uh, rolling out with something in the water. We are having conversations. That's a number one. We're having conversations. Two is I think the people know that we're going to be hard at work, giving them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got um, we've got individuals that are coming to the oceanfront who are artists, and we've got kids who are happy and they want them to come. And so we're going to do everything we can to make that happen on our end. I can tell you that.
Well, I am a big music fan, so I'm like, make sure it gets here. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, me and him have had, just husband and wife kind of conversations about, something in the water. And I think that it is very important that, that it happens, and
Mm-hmm.
that city council, works with their team to make it successful. Because we want everybody to be safe. We want everybody to have a good time. And we also would like definitely to see those dollars come into Virginia Beach. That's going to help with a lot of different things. So it's so many different aspects and so many different pieces that have to come together to make it happen and make it be successful. And, at the end of the day, people are people. Not everybody
Mm-hmm.
does everything perfect, but we all want the same goal. We want to see it
Absolutely.
be successful. We want to see, the money that comes into Virginia Beach And, once again, we want to put Virginia Beach on the map, for the place to come for, that type of thing for, being entertainment. We want people to understand how beautiful, Virginia is, Virginia Beach. So I think it's important to make sure that it happens.
And I think this is a good time to introduce the First Lady of District 7, Tanika Jackson Gray.
Oh my God.
Very true, very true. Because, like you mentioned, Virginia Beach, for the listeners out there that are not from the Hampton Roads area or Virginia area, Virginia Beach really is the premier city in the state of Virginia. It's the largest population wise in the state. Again, we have the beach. We're known for the beach. The Hampton Roads alone, athletes, musicians,
Right.
festivals. I mean, Virginia Beach alone has, I've counted 5 festivals. I lose track of how many music festivals or local festivals, whether it's food festivals, festivals at the beach, sand soccer. You have so many events that is going on in Virginia Beach. So they're known for bringing on successful events, festivals that are safe, that are great turnouts, that are great revenue for the area. And again, what you said, First Lady, is all true. Now, Councilman, you got a tough job, because I can see residents, pressuring you, at City Hall, and then when you get home, First Lady's like, okay, so what's happening with this festival? Come on,
Absolutely.
like, whoo, that must
Absolutely.
be tough.
So I can tell you the things I share with my wife are things I can share with the public. And then there's certain things I can't share because we're in negotiation and talks. But I will tell you that we are a very forward-thinking city council.
Mhm.
So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, in you were sworn in, I want to say, was it 2 weeks ago,
January
3 weeks ago, January 7th. How has the and I'm looking at my time, we have a few minutes left. How has the relationship been as far as for the council as a whole? Because you have folks that are familiar faces that that won re-election. You have folks that are still finishing out their term. Now you have newcomers. How has that relationship been as far as gathering together? Has it been pretty solid? Have you had any back and forth? Not saying full on arguments, but I'm just saying, has it been an easy process? Has it been a smooth sailing process for now? Or
I think all of us who, well, the two of us that are brand new to city council, we've studied, and I can tell you we had conversation. We looked at council before we came on, and we wanted to represent a different council, a council that communicated, that diplomacy was our arching theme. We may have disagreements, but it's going to be done professionally and business minded. So I can tell you to this point, there hasn't been where emotions are high, and we leave where it's disappointing, or we're disappointed at the outcome of our conversations together. So I think we all work well with each other as it sits.
awesome.
And we need to keep it that way, because we've got lots of things on our agenda that we have to keep the ball rolling. And so this is what I'm bringing to council. It's business, not personal. It's business. And we've got to keep that in mind so that we can keep the ball rolling, so that Virginia Beach can continue to thrive and be, I think, the #1 tourist destination.
See, I can't brag about Chesapeake. We really don't have too many tourists. I would say, well, you gotta compete with Chesapeake, but I'm like, we're working on. I'm gonna have a few of the council members on later on in the program this month. But my friend Councilman Jackson Green, I want to thank you for taking the time out your schedule. First Lady, Mrs. Green, thank you so much as well for taking the time out of your schedule as well. Councilman, how can folks continue to follow up with you if they want to get in contact, specifically folks in the District 7th area in Virginia Beach? How can they continue to if they have any questions or if they have some issues, how can they get in touch with you?
So now they can visit vb.gov, Virginia Beach, vb.gov, and they'll have my phone number, on the website, as well as an email where they can contact me. So visit our government page, and there you'll see all the council members. You'll see my information on the website under council members.
Awesome, awesome. And look, now I'm kind of gonna split the councilman out real quick. Zzz. All right, my good friend Cash. Now, how can folks get in touch with you if they're looking for a great vehicle?
Yes, well, thank you so much. I am grateful to have a wonderful dealership, which is right on the corner of Lynn Haven and Virginia Beach Boulevard. And so that's RK Subaru. So just ask for Cash Green. If I'm not there, they're already primed and ready to assist you. So just say you have been referred by Cash Green. And I am a product specialist that promotes the Subaru brand.
Awesome, awesome. Well, look, my friends, don't go anywhere. I want to chop it up just for a few seconds with you after the show. So I'm going to take you on backstage. But again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule. Ladies and gents, again, this is the conversation that we have here on the Arrington Gavin Show, where I get to have the opportunity to speak with some of our local leaders in the Hampton Roads area. And these are for listeners that are not even in, from the state. We're honored to have folks from all across the world. But I'm a huge advocate and proponent when it comes to local government and having an understanding, especially for all you young people out there to have an understanding of local government and your knowing what's in your backyard. So my friends, you guys don't go anywhere. I'm gonna put you on backstage, but I'm just gonna close this on out. So again, thank you. And my friends, I hope you all enjoyed another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We're gonna keep on giving you great shows like this throughout the year 2025. As I mentioned before, this is just the beginning when it comes to great conversations. I'm so excited. I have some great news that's going to be coming forth with you that's about the program. We are growing, as I've mentioned before. We're hoping to grow our audience even more. Ways you can tune into the program, whether it's you can stream us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the Arrington Gavin Show, or you can watch us on Rumble as well as at the Arrington Gavin Show. If you are an avid podcast listener, you can listen to us on all major podcast platforms: iHeart, Odyssey, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM. Straight talk out of the metro Atlanta area. All right. You can tune into the program Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on that station, as well as online at WDJYFM.com. And as I mentioned before, we are growing. So hopefully you might get to listen to us from another market on another radio station. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But as always, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this convo. Thank you so much for continuing to follow up and support us. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, as I mentioned earlier. Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, Blue Sky at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as X at the Arrington Gavin Show. And if you would like to read some of my content, check us out on Substack, ArringtonGavinShow.substack. We try going a little bit everywhere. That's what we're trying to do here. So as always, my friends, peace and blessings. Stay safe out there. I hope to talk with you all soon. I will see you next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Remember, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Peace and blessings. God bless. I'll talk to you soon, my friends.